Good morning, everybody, and welcome to P&M in the AM. I'm your co-host, Mike Lauro, along with, that's right, the Gobbler. No Al today. So, Pat, welcome, buddy, to another P&M in the AM.
Yes, Mike, PM and AM. Mike, we're here. We set the tone for the rest of the network, the rest of your sports week. You don't want to go anywhere else. You want to hang out. We're like the stay in the back of your underwear. That's what you and I are like.
Patrick,
Just the
Patrick, 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 Patrick. I have my Wawa coffee in
yes.
front of me. It's not hit the halfway point yet. No, we're not going there. It's too early on this Sunday morning, buddy. But
Oh,
speaking about,
Jesus. Well, at least I'm trying.
but
Yeah, at least
speaking
I'm
about,
trying. But look, Mike,
go ahead, man.
what do you need? No, I mean, listen, Mike. There's a lot going on. Philadelphia sports, and one in particular, I got to get into. Look, the Phillies are struggling out there. Well, they lost last night. I don't want to say struggling. They lost. They lost 4-3 to the Diamondbacks. But before I get into this, uh, I'm usually in support of Topper. You and I had a discussion Friday about whether he is going to be a top three manager of all time with this franchise and all that. Good morning, Pat, Mike. Good morning, Adam. But the problem I'm
Adam.
having is Nick Castellanos on Friday stepped to the plate, came through with a big home run. The reason why this team won on Friday, but then he benched him yesterday. And even with his big moment on Friday, someone from the media asked, like, are you still worried about your playing time? And you can see that it's been eating at him, and he's got to say the right words so he don't look like the bad guy. And as a man, as a part of the media, listen, everyone thinks it's the media is like the devil and trying to set ways. Listen, you're open. You're there to ask any question that you want. As long as you don't go completely out of bounds or anything like that. But you can answer. So it's not like this guy had a register. But the thing is, like, I think it was a little bit outrageous to ask that question to the guy after having a big step up, and then he gets benched right away. I mean, I thought he should have played yesterday. But Mike, take me through. What do you think Nick Castellanos is going through right now?
Well, Nick's really kind of, to me, I've been following Nick since his days in Detroit, and he's always been that eccentric guy. Like his emotion level doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, and he's kind of blunt. He's straightforward when he answers the question. Um, do I think his time in Philly is maybe coming to an end? Maybe. I think they may try to move him in the offseason. Um, but what else can really Nick say other than? And I think he said all the right things. He said, "Look, I don't make those decisions." Okay, but here's the thing: I think that he's really kind of benefited from this sporadic play, like the platoon situation, because at the end of the day, Topper's got to do what he's got to do to help win a World Series. I think Topper's under the gun here a little bit too. So, for me, and I think Nick understands. I mean, if you listen to him and you hear him talk, he's basically telling you that. He's like, look, John Middleton paid me to come here and help this team win a World Series. That's what he's doing. He's helping them try to win a World Series. If he plays every day or he doesn't. We saw what happens when he plays every day. Like, he kind of had a good couple, 2 games or so last year's divisional series against the Mets. The year before that, he was on fire. And then just by the time the LCS hit, he was just done. So, maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're trying to keep everything going. Plus, you also can't ignore what the other guys are doing. Kepler's starting to pick his game up a little bit. Bader and Marsh have been playing out of their mind. So it's really kind of a numbers game, really, if you're looking at it.
Yeah, and listen, he may see the writing on the wall too. And you're right, Castellanos might be seeing the writing on the wall. Harrison Bader's been playing extremely well, and all these guys technically are fighting for a spot for next year. I mean, Alec Bohm came through with a big home run last night, but those guys need like, and again, it's kind of like I said, it's the writings on the wall. He's probably not going to be here next year. Toppers, like you said, is probably feeling the pressure now. See what works, what's going to work, head into the future, prepare these guys for the postseason, having the team chemistry on the field now. And listen, not a lot of it paid off yesterday. Brandon Marsh goes 0 for 4 yesterday with 3 strikeouts. Same thing with Kepler. But again, do I expect that downfall? The only problem I have with this team moving forward into the postseason is the starting pitching staff. I don't. I mean, I trust Sanchez, Lazardo, and Ranger, and Nola. Like his velocity scares me because it's not what it used to be. I mean, his sinkers yesterday were pretty dialed in, but his curveballs were just they were gimmies yesterday. And this Diamondbacks team, even though they're not really in contention to play, playing for a postseason spot, but they can show you they can still hit, and you can't be really messing around with that lineup. And some reason Noah can't play against that squad.
Pat, yeah, like, but you know, they are in a potential. I mean, they're one game behind the Mets right now. Mets are at 80 and 75. The Diamondbacks are at 78 and 77. They're like right there. I mean, I think if I remember correctly, I do believe that it is.
I thought it was the Reds are right there.
Yeah, the Reds are right
The
there.
Reds
But I
are
mean,
there.
yeah, the Reds are right there. That's why I'm looking right now. Like, uh, but the Reds, I think, are one game off right now. So let me check it out right now. Right now, if you're looking at the, hold on, where the heck wild card standings? Here we go. Yeah, right now, if you're looking in the American League, the wild card teams are Yankees, Red Sox, and Cleveland. With Houston, like Houston's barely hanging on in here, and then
How bad?
hold on.
Not to cut you off, but how bad is the Detroit Tigers been? Like for most of the summer, most of this season, they've been sitting on top of the hill. They're about to find themselves on the way out. Like they're on
Yeah,
a 5-game losing streak. Cleveland's catching fire with a 10-game winning streak. Again, it's scary for, like I said, that Detroit Tiger team, who I thought was a lock for a postseason spot. Not so much.
yeah, no. Guess what? They're only a game up on the Guardians. So, and I think they play each other this week. I believe.
Mhm.
We'll have to check that. But yeah, I mean, Houston right now is at 84, and they're only two off of Seattle. So, I mean, right now you got four teams fighting for three spots, and right now, Houston and Cleveland are kind of tied. So, it could be like if you really stop and think about it for the American League, Detroit can literally lose its way out of the postseason. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah,
wild to
and
think.
that is wild. And again, it's not a marathon. I mean, it's not a sprint; it's a marathon. So, very interesting to see what this team does moving forward. Very scary for the
Yeah.
Detroit Tiger fans. Again, this team it needs to find themselves to get up. But Mike, who do we have on the hill today for the Phils?
The Ranger,
4 o'clock
Ranger,
start. Oh, the
Rangers,
mighty more from
Ranger.
Ranger Suarez.
Yep. But Pat, real quick, as I'm looking at this National League here, the Phillies are 3 games back of the Brewers, which it's going to be kind of hard for them to catch, I think, the Brewers, even though the Brewers play the Reds the last 3 games of the year. So there's kind of a big there's a big gap difference there. So I mean, they should be able to be wrapped up. I mean, they're already on they're what 7 games up on I think their magic number is getting close for them to clinch. I think once they clinch, it's going to be kind of right there for them to take. But this interesting one, this last postseason spot for the National League is really, really heating up because you basically have 1, 2, 3, 4 teams vying for one spot because the Cubs are at 88 and 67. They've already locked up the top wild card. It looks like, the Padres are going to be the second wild card. And now you got the Mets, who literally have 1 game over Cincinnati, 2 games over the Diamondbacks, and 4 games over the Giants. And believe it or not, kind of hanging around the outside there with 5 games back are the Marlins and the Cardinals. So,
And
I
I want to
mean,
get
go ahead,
I
buddy.
want to get into that because, like, again, the Marlins, if you're not paying attention to them, they're actually one of the better teams in the league. Even the Braves, again, these teams really don't have much to play for. But what's up, Mike?
Hey,
What's Yo, Pat?
our
Good to see you,
boy,
brother. Yeah,
our
what's
boy
up,
Joey,
Sully?
our boy Joey Sullivan, man. Make sure you check him out over there on Out of the Box Network. He every Monday night, him and the crew. I check in on them guys all the time, dude. And Joe also does a great thing with his old school show as well. So whenever he does one of those, make sure you definitely check in on those shows over
So
there.
yeah, so like I said, the Braves 7 game winning streak right now. The Marlins a 5 game winning streak. They may have something brewing for next year. So again, that's something you have to pay attention to
Well,
moving forward.
I'm not worried about next year, but I'll tell you what, if you're looking at it, if I'm a Mets fan, I'm really worried. And the reason why I'm saying I'm really worried is, after the game today, the Mets got to go to Wrigley to play 3 with the Cubbies. And then they get those Marlins the last 3 games of the year. And I'll tell you what, the last time they played the Marlins up in City Field, they lost 2 or 3 to the Marlins up there. So I mean, as a Phillies fan, you're kind of laughing and watching them go down. Like, yeah, they can bring up the day of the season series. Big deal. You won one more game than we did. And if we would have played them 3 more times now, I don't think the Mets would even be able. Like, I think the Phillies would run through them just like they did the 4 games here. So, you know, I'm looking at it and I'm going, this is probably going to be a most epic collapse. But then again, it's the Mets. The Mets are going to Met, and there's a reason why that's saying. My thing is, which one of the other 3 teams are going to take that spot? Is it going to be Arizona? Um, is it going to be Cincinnati? I think Cincinnati's got the more easier path to get there because they got 3 with
Uh,
Pittsburgh. They got 3 with Pittsburgh, and then after Pittsburgh, like I said, they get the Brewers, but the Brewers are going to have everything locked up. I think once the Brewers win the division, I think they're just going to pull. They're not going to try and keep pitching everybody. It wouldn't be smart of them to do so.
No, you're right. And the Reds are on a 4 game winning streak right now. If they happen to go on a run, like I said, cry me river, New York, adios amigos. I'll just have to watch our good buddy Pudgy Mike lose more of his marbles. But no, seriously, on a good note though, the Reds get in there, and we all know about that last wild card spot. You get in there, someone reads it, it becomes good luck. You become the driving force of the NL. And we've seen it with this ball club 3 years ago when they initially opened up that spot. The Phillies took full win of it. So, like I said, it's going to be fun to see them moving forward. What's up, cousin Steve? He goes, I wouldn't be sad if we lost and made it harder than for the Mets today. Yeah, well, I would love to see the Mets, feel some pain.
Yeah, hey Pat, listen, I just kind of clicked on the site here for the Padres. They got the White Sox today, and then literally they start a 3 game series at home versus Milwaukee. So, and then they finish up versus Arizona. So they finish up with Milwaukee and Arizona, and so that's telling me that Milwaukee's playing San Diego and then Cincinnati. So I'm like kind of looking at all these teams like right now. Like I said, the Reds, they have one left game in Chicago today, and then they have literally Pittsburgh for 3, and then they have again Milwaukee. So I mean, it's really looking kind of interesting. The one team I want to look at is the Giants because I think they finish up. Yeah, they have their last game with the Dodgers today, and then they host St. Louis for 3, and then they play Colorado. So, like, they have a decent chance, but I think they're a little, I think them and, I think they're a little too far back at 4 games. I think them, the Marlins, and the Cardinals are a little too far back to try to catch ground now because there's only 7 games left in the regular season. So, like, they would have to literally win damn near all their games. But those two, and then, like I said, with the Mets, I'm just looking to see who. Oh, yeah, they finished. They have Washington today, Chicago for 3. And then here's the best part, too, is they don't have a day off, dude. Like, they literally come in. They play today. From Tuesday to next Sunday, they don't get a day off. They play straight through. They do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in Chicago, and then they go right to Miami. So, I mean, again, it's going to be so hard. And if them and the Reds finish with the same record overall, the Reds have the tiebreaker on the Mets. So can you imagine if they finish with the same record as the Mets, and then all of a sudden the Mets get ousted? It would be a most epic collapse. This was a team that was in first place. We were hearing Mets fans chirp all season long, and then you turn around and have the most epic collapse, man. Like, I would have to go give our Mets fans, our friends that are Mets fans, you got to give them a big crying tale for this one, because that would just be
Oh, they're going to need it.
A most epic collapse.
Yeah, they're going to need it. But Mike, like I said though, if the Mets could fall out of the race, that'd be great. But I need to see this Phillies team write the story. And to me, it's become a little harder to believe. Like I said, I think the offense is starting to pick up a lot more steam that I've seen in a while. But you can't always rely on the offense. You need some pitching. And to me, that's where I think the Achilles heel is going to happen for this Phillies team. I don't believe in the starting pitching.
No, Pat, I got to so disagree with you. The pitching's been the backbone of this team all year. The pitching's been the backbone of this team all year. All year.
Yeah, but right now it hasn't looked that great. Nola hasn't looked that great in a couple of weeks. His velocity's down. Sanchez is the only arm you could really rely on.
No, I think you can rely on Ranger. What I seen from Bueller the other night, it wasn't Cy Young worthy, but it was okay. I think.
Yeah, but he's not going to get. I'm talking about startings. He's not going to start.
All right. Well, for the very first round that they're going to play, you're going to get the Phillies' three best pitchers. Then their three best pitchers right now are Sanchez, Ranger, and Luzardo. They're the three best pitchers that they have.
That's not. Everybody I can't rely on that.
What do you mean you can't rely on that?
You can't rely on that.
Oh, come on, Pat. Stop with the madness.
You can't rely on those arms. You're going to rely on Sanchez.
Yes.
Ranger is up and down, and Luzardo always has a snowball effect. He's Aronola 2.0.
Oh, dude, stop. He had a bad outing. He had a bad inning, and then came back and shut down the rest of the game. Stop with that. With the insanity with you. Again, you're going to talk about...
You're nuts.
Of course, I'm nuts. You're talking about Christopher Sanchez, who's a Cy Young candidate for this year.
Put him out the picture. He's your safe haven.
Okay, so you mean to tell me you got a Game 7 start and you don't feel comfortable with Ranger going to the hill?
No,
you don't feel. You're out your mind, dude. Like what?
No.
Did you get smacked with too many meat sticks last night? Because you're
maybe, but
you're nuts, dude.
But no.
Nah, come on, stop with the insanity. The pitching has been the backbone of this team. Again, they're only going to need 3 starters for the first round. And then you have guys like Nola, you have Bueller, you have Walker, who can come in if there is a situation. Oh, Jesus.
Bueller, yes. Not Taiwan. I don't want Taiwan even looking at. Just do what he's been doing the last 2 years in the postseason. Eat peanuts. That's what he's good for. No, there's a reason why his topper don't even look his way.
Come on, dude. Yo, throw the parachute out. Come down from the 700 level here, dude. Come on. Like, seriously.
You need to come off. You need to get to the doctors and get checked out. You need the back door checked everywhere.
Oh, really? Look at my record at hosting the fighting. Look at my record at hosting the fighting finals, and look at yours, buddy. The team wins when I
haven't been on like 2 months.
I know. Even still, you still didn't have a good record. Okay, so yeah, I've seen this team a lot.
That doesn't mean I picked it. It's what's that got to do with anything? I don't rely on the arms in this bullpen. You can't.
We're not talking about the bullpen. We're talking about starting pitching. And Steve brings up
but you just talked about you could possibly bring in Walker. Walker's going to get you more trouble and get you out of trouble.
Listen, Walker is the very last of the long relievers here. But I like what Steve says here. He goes, 3 lefties is not a good proposition. Got to mix in a right-hander. Who's to say we got to mix in a right-hander? If your 3 best starting pitchers are left-handed, guess what, buddy? You know what you're doing? You're making whoever you're playing, you're making them a right-handed dominant lineup. Go ahead. So what? So be it.
Listen,
like to me, I don't care. You throw your 3 best pitchers out there. Their 3 best pitchers right now that they have on this team is Sanchez, Ranger, and Luzardo. They're your 3 starters going. So again, to me, you got to go with what you got to go with.
Again, Christopher Sanchez is the only one I feel comfortable with. I do not feel comfortable with the other two. I don't even feel comfortable with Nola, and I've been a Nola guy. I can't defend him no more. He's not what he used to be.
Did you hear me bring him up in this whole conversation about starting?
No, I know you did, but I'm just saying, like for guys like myself or who are trying to be optimistic that he has something left in the tank. Whatever injury he had this past summer is still not fixed here, and he had maybe 1 or 2 good games since. But again, last night he falls apart. His velocity has been down. He's hittable. He's been hittable.
Okay.
You know, his knuckle curveball is not at 94, 95. It's like in his low 70s, 60s, high 60s. It's not fire what it used to be.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. What I'm saying to you is, I'm not even talking about Nola. If Taijuan Walker's the last one, okay, the right before him is Nola. To me, like you're going to go literally, I would do your starting 3. And yeah, I would throw Walker Buehler in there because Buehler's got the experience, postseason experience. You want him in there, and I think he's looked okay so far with the Phillies. Like, listen, you're not going to get to shut down Walker Buehler because if that was the case, the Red Sox wouldn't have released him. Okay, but you're going to get something out of it. You know what I mean?
No, and you're right. I'm not going to get old, naked. I want to see what he can bring.
Please don't do that. It's Sunday morning, and I'm not trying to puke up my breakfast. Hey, we got a fan here.
Right. What's up, Ranger?
What's up?
Tyrone.
What's up, Ty?
Thanks. What's up? Pat, you guys suck. Thanks, Tyrone. Thanks for being honest.
Well, Pat does on Saturday nights, but that's for a different time and place.
Hey. But no, listen. The problem I have with this squad, and like I said, I don't know what we're going to get out of Walker Buehler. And maybe he brings, the safe haven, him, Durant, the bullpen could be good. I just don't want to see this lineup fall in the holes because you can't do that to a Brewers team. You can't go do that against or any of these. Maybe the Dodgers. I don't worry about the Dodgers. I don't know why. Maybe I don't worry about the Dodgers and Cubbies.
Pat, stop.
I said I don't.
Again, go buy a dog. Because every year you do this. We get into a playoff situation.
Yes.
And you're so worried about, what teams are doing in the regular season. Has Milwaukee won anything? There's been times Milwaukee's had really great teams, and they pooped the bed in the first round. So, again, I'm not worried about this. Like, our team is battle-tested. Now, do I think, there's another team that's in this postseason that's also battle-tested, which was the team we just played earlier this week in the Dodgers. Like, I'm more fearful of the Dodgers in this postseason than any other team.
Really? Why?
Yes. Because, one, the Dodgers have a slew of injuries. Yes. Did we take, the season series from them? Yes. But they've also been there, and they've also won. So, yes, I feel like that lineup that they have out there is a very formidable lineup. Again, their pitching's kind of but that would be the team I'm worried about because they're the reigning defending champions and they're back in the postseason. I'm not worried about Milwaukee. I'm really not. Like, Milwaukee's got a win around for me to worry about them because Milwaukee can get to the postseason. Winning the series is something totally different. And I got to see them. I got to see them win. Dude, listen, look at the Phillies 2 years ago. They were the number 1 seed. What happened? They got knocked out in the NLCS. So just because you're the number 1 seed doesn't mean you're going to get to a World Series. Again, I got to see Milwaukee. I got to see Milwaukee win. I got to see them win a series before I can take them seriously as being like I got to see
average like 4 runs a game.
Dude, I don't care if they average 10 runs a game. The postseason's a different beast. It's a different beast. And if you take a look, some of the, I guess, the lower tier teams, they haven't been playing their crisp baseball as of late either. If you go in and look at it, I think they're 6-4 in their last 10. So they're just above 500 in their last 10 games. They got to go out west this week before they come home and play a division opponent. Like, no, I got to see Milwaukee win a series. Like, I got to see them,
Yeah, but again, if against this inferior, pitching staff, they put this team in a 4-0 hole where it's going to be hard to climb out of. This is going to be a second round trip at best for the Phils.
Pat, did you watch the series Labor Day weekend? The Phillies.
Yes, I did, and I was surprised the Phillies won.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
So guess what? The Phillies just showed you that they can be down 4-0 to this team, come back and win the game. So again, what is there to be scared of, or what is there to be worried about? Yes, is Milwaukee a good team? Yes. I got to see how they handle pressure of postseason baseball, and from what I've seen, and leading all the way up to their pass, guess what? They don't handle the pressure well. Now, they may be a good team and they may get to, I want to see them win a round because to me, they've been one and done for how long? So, again, I'm not. I'm more worried about the Dodgers. The Dodgers have been there, done that, and won it all. They know what it takes to win. The Phillies are still trying to figure out that next step, okay, where the Dodgers have already done it. So, no, obviously, and again, this is something right here. Our boy Adam Popple's bringing it up. Playoffs are totally different. Mike is right. Seattle won 116 games and didn't make it to a World Series. That's a 116-win team. Didn't make it. So just because they got the best record in the National League doesn't guarantee them a slot in the NLCS or in the World Series. I got to see Milwaukee win a series before I can take them as a viable threat to get there. Right now, my biggest threat was the Dodgers. And the way I'm measuring it is, we played them 6 games. We won 4 out of 6. Guess what? 4 out of 6 gets you to a World Series. So, to me, I'm looking at you are just, again, I don't know if you're sitting in a dark room eating paint chips or what, but you are just constantly going down this narrative of what they do in the regular season. Everybody's 0-0.
Yeah, I get that, but again, to me, from what I have now, the sample size I have now with this team, I cannot rely on these arms. I'm okay with the offense. This offense is battle tested. Yes, like I said, they will battle anybody to the 9th inning, but you can't always rely on your offense to bail you out of trouble. You have to have some kind of sustainable pitching staff, and we do not have that. We don't have it. We have Christopher Sanchez. That's it.
Hold on. Pat, I love you. I do. But, man,
yes.
No, you are nuts. And I'm going to tell you why you're nuts.
Okay? You ain't going to be.
I'm going to tell you why you're nuts, dude. Because literally since, the 1st of, where's it at? From September 1st, the Phillies have literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've had 5 losses, okay, in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Out of 18 games, dude, they're 13-5. They're 13-5 over the last 8 games. And look at the people who they've played, Pat. I'm going to read them off to you.
It doesn't matter.
Stop. No, I got the point exactly, Pat. Listen to who they've played. They've played 3 with Milwaukee, 3 with the Marlins, 4 with the Mets. Okay?
Who are the Marlins?
Hold on. The Marlins are right there, dude. As much as you want to discount them, they're there. They're 5 games behind the Mets. Let's they're a mediocre team. They're on the rise, but they have to play what's in front of them. Again, Phillies, Marlins, Mets for 4. Then they played a team that was in the running. At the time they played them, they were in the playoff hunt in Kansas City. They did 3 with the Dodgers and now 3 with Arizona, who are all in the playoffs. The only team that's really in this mix right now that's really not a playoff team is the Marlins. But everybody else has been there, and they've done it without their best pitching. So what more sample size do you need? They're 13-5.
Yeah, that's because, again, you missed the point of the offense bailing them out of the trouble. But the offense is not always when the offense and all those losses had been because the offense got cold. It's not because the pitching staff, because the pitching staff constantly puts his team in a hole. And you can't have that every single night. That's what I'm saying. Nola might put you in a hole. Lazaro is going to put you in a hole. Ranger may put you in a hole. You can't have these guys putting you in a hole. You need someone to bail you out, and you can't always rely on your offense to bail you out all the time. That's what I'm saying. You need to set the tone of a game. This offense can't do that with a pitching staff that's infeasible. It's not scaring anybody.
I know. Pat, listen, I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but again, you're sitting back. They're 13-5, bub. They're 13-5. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
and they're playing against playoff caliber teams, with the exception of the Miami Marlins. Like, I don't really know what else to kind of tell you, bub. Like, I really don't. Hold on. Where's this
Well,
one?
like I
Yeah,
said, like I
but
said, we'll see what happens. But Mike, pay some. We got pay some bills here, and then we got to get talking some birds. I love talking about my birds.
yeah, I know you do. All right, guys, listen. Get ready to follow us. Coming up next here is the Steel City Sunday. That's right, Pittsburgh Steelers pre and post game show with our guy Will and everybody else on the crew over there. Make sure you guys tune in for that. For all you Steeler fans, that is going to be there today. Also,
Led by John Phillips.
John Phillips.
Yes.
Yes, John and Bill. Make sure you get over there with those guys. All right, we have our own Eagles post-game show with our own Steve Fuentes, the Birds Flyby. Make sure you guys come over to this right after. We'll be talking birds and everything else. As we go down the list, the fighting's final today. That's right. Around 7 o'clock tonight, you can join Matty B. That's right. He will be here live and in living color, breaking down this last road trip of the year, last road game for the Phillies this year. And look forward to his Down on the Farm report as well, as Matty does a great job. And if you can't get enough more Matty, guess what? He's got the final word tonight, 10 p.m. Make sure you tune in. One of my favorites of his show is This Day in Philadelphia Sports History. So hopefully he does that as well. Now we're going to get into the midweek here. Guys, that's right. Myself, Paul Spencer. Make sure you guys tune in for Props, Locks, and Parlays Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. Also on Wednesdays, following us. That's right, the new show, the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. Make sure you guys tune in for that. Following me on Wednesday night. Again, make sure. And then Thursday, we have an action-packed Thursday night for you, 9 p.m.
Oh.
That's right. You got that Steve Fuentes and that other guy. As they will be for the attacking third. Pat and Steve will have you all caught up on all the action, MLS action, and of course our Philadelphia Union. Also at 7, right before that, Matty B along with WIP's Kyle Quinn, they will be on here talking, reflecting on the Birds Ravens game, getting ready for the Birds Tampa game. That should be very interesting to see what these guys have to talk about. And then following them on Thursday, that's right, Gridiron Weekly. Definitely give these guys a check out last night, or check them out on Thursday night. I believe it's 9 o'clock, Pat, I think, or 8 o'clock. I think it's 8 o'clock.
Yes, 8 o'clock Thursdays. So we got 7 with Matty B and Kyle, 8 with Will and Ed, and then it goes right to me and Steve.
Yep, there you go. So there it is. Make sure you guys tune in for that. And guess what? Coming back this week, that's right, guys. Saturday, the Happy Valley Huddle. That's right. That'll be a late one, guys. It will be a late one as Penn State hosts Oregon, top 5 battle or top 10 battle in Happy Valley. So wear your white as Penn State takes on Oregon this week. So that is
considered tidy whities?
Yes.
Okay.
The wraparound, I will be hosting this Friday night upcoming. Pat's going to take the night off. So I will be hosting the wraparound, and pretty much that's about it. So there is our schedule, guys. Make sure you guys tune in. As you can see, we have a lot of stuff going, and it's only going to get bigger and better. So make sure you guys tune in. And the upcoming Marlins series, uh, it will be Steve on Tuesday, myself Wednesday, and Pat's following me on Thursday. So we got a pretty action-packed week, Patrick. We are kind of booked to the gills
Oh,
here. So
we
let's
are
get
getting right to the gills and
yeah. Let's
thickness.
now. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Let me start. It says Otani won't be taken out after 5 innings after next time around. They're going to need Otani. They're going to need Otani. I definitely for the Dodgers going there. He said Pat is worried about the sixth loss. Zach Wheeler. Yeah.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Ryan Swope. Yo, guys. Yo, Ryan. What's going on?
What's up, Rye?
So you want to bail us out then, Pat?
Yes.
Pat's talking the Cardinals or the Ravens. I know he's not talking about the Eagles. I think the Rams and Bills could be 2-3 in the NFL. You know,
Let's let's
Steve.
let's let, let's get into it. Let's get right into it,
Yeah,
Mike. Let's take the rubber gloves on and let's dissect this thing. Let's bend it over. So here we go.
bring the lube.
You all right? Oh, coffee. Um, Mike's gonna have to put holy water in that coffee soon. But anyway, Mike, Eagles, Rams today. Sean McVay, for people who don't know, is 1-5. First the Birds. So as scary as we all hyped the Rams to be all the time facing the Eagles, and some reason we have this goosebump that it's a potential loss. I'm starting now to feel the other way. I'm starting to feel like it's going to be a tight win. I feel like it's going to be a 17-14 Eagles win. Mike, first of all, what was your take on from last week with a tight game from the Eagles and Chiefs?
To be honest with you, you know, Jalen. It's like Jalen's damned if you do, damned if you do, damned if you don't. If he goes out and tries to make these long throws and he gets intercepted, they're going to be like, well, why were you throwing downfield? Why don't you just take what the defense gives you? The guy goes out and takes what the defense gives him, and they win the game. Again, the Eagles proved going into Kansas City, and this isn't the last 2 times they've been to Kansas City, they've walked out with wins. One of the hardest places in the world, right? Chiefs Kingdom. Yeah, well, they better rename that, Philly West, because that's been our home field, man, for the last 2 times we've been there. Now, I will say this. I didn't like the fact that Mahomes was able to get a long bomb off for a touchdown. I didn't like that, but sometimes that happens. Blown coverages, it happens. I felt for the most part, though, they really kind of kept Mahomes in check. And again, the whole thing was the pressure going to get home? To me, honestly, the defense got home. I mean, they were very big. I mean, the linebackers I thought played a good game. Kelsey. They say, oh well, it took a little bit of luck. Well, winning a super. Chiefs fans forget the luck that they had going and winning back-to-back Super Bowls. Okay, I thought it was a really good game. It was, and I'm going to take my hat off, Steve Spagnuolo. He adjusted from the Super Bowl, and he came after Jalen Hurts last week. But I give Hurts credit too, because Hurts stood there. If you really take a look, Hurts didn't do a lot of running like he did, the previous week against Dallas. He didn't. He stood in the pocket for most part of the game. So
I wouldn't agree with you, and this is a rare character. We never agree to on anything, but you know what? Like, first of all, to your opening statement, damn it, the guy, releases the ball and throws it wild and has a bunch of interceptions. Like, he took what the defense gave him. Yes, it wasn't a big explosive plays. Yeah, did AJ Brown only have 5 catches for 27 yards? Yeah, whatever. It wasn't big. What's up, Frankie? But
Frankie.
yeah, look, there's a lot of tangibles that went with it. Yeah, Deshaun, but Devontae Smith had a big play down the field. Absolutely. Yeah, he was a playmaker. Yeah, does Ken Patullo need to get more Kevin, AJ Brown more involved? Absolutely. Does he have to, like you said, it's going to adjust. It's going to take 3 to 4 games for him to figure out what he has really in front of him. And today may be the day. And again, like you just said, you tip your cat to the Eagles defense. Yes, it was only one deep bomb that Patrick Mahomes got away with. And we know Patrick Mahomes, he's an explosive player. Of course, no, everything was going to, not going to be the same from the Super Bowl. Like everything's not going to be on repeat mode. It's a whole different team. You move on from players. Other players, got to figure out their roles as well. It's still really early. This is only now going on week 3. And like you said, Mike, I gotta credit you because the Eagles bird this the secondary, who what I have a big question mark on, really kept him in check. Really made for Patrick Mahomes to make some tight throws. And yes, there was a couple ones that got to Travis Kelce. Yeah, absolutely. But again, this is a brand new offensive coordinator, and Vic Fangio is still trying to figure out what he has in front of him as too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Fangio was the problem. Patullo, I mean, oh, hold on, Pat. I'm sorry. Adam says, do you think Patullo will get better calling plays week by week? Oh, I think so. But here's the thing.
Listen, there's a reason he. Yeah, Mike.
No, I mean, you got to give him a chance. And, he's not like it was the last time they went to the Super Bowl and they had Brian Johnson. You could tell he's better than Brian Johnson. He has a clue of what he's doing. He's just being smart. He's being smart. He's taking what the defense gives him. Now, okay, so guess what? If you want to do man-to-man coverage and you're going to bring guys in to stop Saquon, sooner or later they're going to take shots downfield. Like I think it's more or less like they're just lulling people to sleep. That's the way I'm looking at it. They're rope-a-doping people. And
yes.
I mean, come on. You really think that you're gonna keep keeping AJ Brown and Devontae Smith like covered up? I mean, again, we got to look at it in the real aspect of this is probably, if you're looking at the start of the season, this is probably their week 1 coming up this week, this game. From not playing in the preseason to getting their legs together, getting everything together. This is week 1 of what used to be the NFL season is now week 3 because they don't play in the preseason anymore. They just do the practices. So their bodies are now getting used to the grind going forward. And I think they're going to be better, man. I think they're going to be better.
And to me, listen, everyone's concerned about the Kevin Patullo playbook. Like, there's a reason why he's part of this team. Like you said, Nick Sirianni trusts him. That's all that matters. Is the head coach of this football team trusts Kevin Patullo. There's a reason why he's here. And like you said, week 3 is pretty much the new week 1 of the NFL. Okay, great. They're 2-0, but they haven't. It's been, we all know, it's been the run game has been bailing them out and so forth. He's not, Jalen Hurts is not racking up fancy owners' radars as of late. He's only thrown over a little over 100 yards, but still, what he's able to do, again, still doing the tush push thing, but again, he's going to figure out one way or another. Him, the offensive coordinator, they're all going to figure this out sooner or later, and they might figure it out today. And like I mentioned to start this segment, Sean McVay, 1-5 versus the Birds. Like, we all have this goosebump about facing the Rams. I think Sean McVay has a bigger goosebump. I think Sean McVay knows in his head that Birds own him physically and mentally.
Well, I think it's going to come down to the lines. I think the Eagles' defensive line is going to have their way with the Rams' offensive line. But the Rams have a very good front, I'll say front 7 on defense. But that front 7 also gave up 400 yards to Saquon Barkley a year ago. So it's going to be – they're going to get a heavy dose of Saquon today. And, for anybody who thinks they're not going to, they're going to. They're going to keep running Saquon until the Rams prove that they can stop him. And, again, you're looking at, he had 3 60-yard runs against them a year ago. I know it was definitely 2. I'm pretty sure it was 3. But, my thing for this is here. is for this Eagles defense. They have to step up. Okay.
Yes.
They have to
And
and
yeah.
what I'm saying is, the secondary, because if you're looking at it, the Rams got some players. They got Kyron Williams, who's a stud running back. They got Matthew Stafford throwing the ball. You got Puka Nacua and now Devontae Adams on the opposite side of him. So it's not Puka and Cooper Kupp. Now it's Puka and Devontae Adams. And
Right.
and just when you think you got all them covered, you got Tyler Higbee coming out as your tight end. So, and you got to remember, Tyler Higbee, I believe, got hurt in the first Eagles game and wasn't available for the playoff game. I don't think he was available for the playoff game. So it kind of took away from their offense a little bit. But just looking at this game, Pat, just from what I've seen over the two teams the first 2 weeks, I mean, the Rams had a tough time with Tennessee last week. That game kind of got away from Tennessee late, and the Rams kind of went up there. But yeah, again, I don't think that there's a lot of again, you're just going to have to line up, and I think the Eagles are the better team on both sides of the ball as far as the line, and usually the dominant line wins the game. And I think it is a close game today. I do. I think the Rams. My top 4 teams right now in the NFL are, the Birds. I like Baltimore. I like Detroit and the Rams. I think they're the top 4 teams right now. And I'm tired of hearing about the AFC, about how they're the most dominating conference when, I'm sorry. Every time
No,
Josh.
so I'm not hitching my wagon to the
No.
none to the AFC. But listen, Mike, I gotta agree with you. I mean, listen, the Birds are going to get a heavy dose of their secondary is going to have to step up. Like you said, you're going to have to deal with Puka. You're going to have to deal with Adams. Adams last week had six catches for 106 yards. Puka had 8 catches for 91 yards. A total for both of them 197 yards. Mr. Stafford's got weapons, but the Eagles, to me, really need this.
The Bears woken up. A lot of excuses.
Oh,
All right, here we go. The Bears woken. All right, what the hell did he write now? 3 years, 3 offensive coordinators. Why is no one being critical of the players? They are the only consistent thing over 3 years. Homer Powers activated. Oh, Jesus Christ. Here he goes.
yeah.
Maddie, do you get up every morning and somebody pee in his Cheerios? Like, Jesus,
I'm telling you.
Listen, if there's a building excuse, the guys had 6 different coordinators in the last 6 years. So again, I guess the players are supposed to coach themselves. Yeah, I'm not getting on this island with Maddie on this one. Again, I think I guess he's referring to like Homer Power. What's there being a Homer Power saying the Eagles are going to win a tight game? Again, I'm pointing out
They
facts.
might lose today. But to me, the Eagles need to win this one because I think. Well, I was going to say out of the rest of the division, I think the Eagles have the toughest challenge out of the rest of the division. I mean, the Cowboys are facing the Bears.
Yeah,
Commanders may lose today. Commanders may lose today without their starting quarterback, and then you have the Giants who are facing Kansas City. And the Giants, if they play like they did last week, they give Kansas City a little bit of troubles.
When I give my picks later, you'll laugh because I'm not. Remember,
Okay.
I'll tell you right now. I got Arizona over the 49ers. I took. Hold on, where's it at? Yeah, right here. I got Arizona over the 49ers. I took Jacksonville at home minus a 1.5, and I'm going with the New York Giants with 6. I think the Giants beat them outright. And I'll tell you what, that Bears-Cowboys game is going to be a lot better than people think it's going to be. I
Really?
truly believe that. Yes, I think that might end up being a game to watch. It may end up being like what Dallas was in a week ago. You know what I mean? Now, whether they win or not, like I said, Dallas went. That line was really weird. Me and Paul, if you watched on Wednesday, Pat, me and Paul were talking about that. That line opened up with the Cowboys getting a 1.5, and it swung all the way back to like the Cowboys giving up like a 1.5. So it did almost a 3-point swing going the other way. So, but I do think. I think Washington's in trouble today. I think they could lose another one. I think they could lose at home. that Raiders defense can get after the quarterback. They were getting after Justin Herbert on Monday night, so they can get after that quarterback. Now, again, what is your prediction for this game, Pat?
They got
I need.
Mariota going today for me.
Yep, yep, Mariota.
Yeah. Good luck,
What's your
Commanders fans.
what?
My
What's your
prediction,
prediction?
like I said, I got the Birds winning by a field goal of 17-14. Yes, I think Mr. Elliott's going to have to bail this team out once again. I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be tough down the wire. And again, like I said, as much as I keep on being intense and scared of this Rams team. For some reason, Sean McVay falls short to this Eagles team. He hasn't looked that good. So again, he's 1-5 versus the Birds. Hopefully, we can make that 1-6 today. And like I said, and if they lose, I kind of expect it. This Rams got a high-powered offense. Yes, did they play against the Tennessee Titans? Did they steamroll them? Yeah, but again, it's not going to be that easy coming into Philly. Eagles are home; they're hungry. It's going to be a good one today.
I like it. I think. I mean, if you look at the Rams' first two opponents, they played Houston and Tennessee, and Houston is like you want to talk about a team that's a shell of itself. Is the Houston Texans. Like, yeah, everybody's got them on this kick to like win a division, and like they're just watching them. It's just hard to watch that team,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll tell you what, they beat them, and I think they beat them like 14-9. So they scored 14 points the first game, 33 their second game. So,
Right.
again, I look at it like this: going for it, I think the Eagles are going to win a tight. I think they're going to win a tight game. I think I have both teams scoring a little more. I just think there's too many playmakers on both sides of the ball. On both teams. I'm looking at like a 27-23 game, something like that. I think it's going to be close. I like it. But Sirianni's got to open, he's the overseer with this. I think he's got to open up the playbook a little bit more now. But like I said, this is probably, if you're looking at it, this is probably the new week one. With the starters not playing during preseason. So for me, I would be, again, and it's, I watched Pat. A great thing is always on YouTube every week. It's Baldy's breakdowns, and
Yes.
Again, you kind of got to look at it because they were kind of running a lot of the same routes. Like it just looked like they were doing go routes. Like I was watching Baldy's breakdowns on that. And to me, the offense didn't seem there's no creativity. Well, the play's got to get drawn up to make it creativity. I think it's more of a mixture. Like if you see something's not working, you got to help try to fix it. So I'm not going to put all the blame on Patullo because there are guys. We do have all pros. Like sooner or later, you got to do that. So,
well, Mike, before we get out of here again,
here he goes, the bear.
So I just, what do you
no
have to
blame
say?
He wrote. So I just want to be clear. Everyone blames the offensive coordinator for the offensive problems. He's the offensive coordinator. Like what?
He's
if he calls a
this
play,
bad boy.
Exactly. He's the one. He's in charge of the offensive game plan. Yeah. I mean,
Mike, before we
hold on, Pat. I got to answer him this. The players ain't dropping the ball, right? It's not nobody's dropping balls. They're not getting open. Okay, so you can get on a receiver for not getting open, but if the play's not calling for him to get open, I mean, come on.
I mean, listen. He designs it. He's designed the route running. He designs what goes on.
He is the offensive coordinator. Like, what are you talking about? Okay, what is it, Sirianni then? Is it Sirianni's fault? There's no what blame should be placed on the player?
Yes, you can blame the player if Jalen Hurts calls an audible and throws it into a spot where he shouldn't be throwing it. Yes, he designs the plays. It's up to the quarterback to find who's open, who can get open, and go from there.
Okay. Oh, because according to Mike, it's acceptable to struggle in September when games count. because the Eagles didn't shoot. Are you kidding me, Matty? Come on. The whole league is struggling. The whole league. The only team that ain't struggling, I'll give it to them, is the Daniel Jones led Indianapolis Colts. Come talk to me and ask me where they are at the end of the season. Give me a break with that. The whole league is down.
Like, well, Mike, not to shift gears here. Okay, I would just roll with it.
Last year, the Eagles scrapped the passing attack and went run heavy because Saquon and the ball were throwing. I mean, yeah, that's. I would say they did lean more heavy on the run. They did lean more heavy on the run. I mean, I kind of agree with that. They did, but again, you have the best offensive line in football, and go ahead and try to argue me with that, Matty. They're the best offensive line in football. Last year, they were. Okay, they were the best offensive line. You had a back who could easily go over 1,000 yards. He went for 2. You rode your back to a Super Bowl. Okay, and pass when needed. That's what they ran. So again, I just we're bitching about a team that's 19-1 in their last 20 games. Think about that for a second. If you would have told me, yo, your next 20 games you're going to be 19-1 and you win a Super Bowl, you know, I'm not complaining. Sometimes, you know, especially when you become the hunted, you're going to get everybody's best shot. You're going to win games like they had last week. Now, granted, everybody's getting over, oh, Jalen only threw $100 or he only threw for 100 yards. That happens. That happens. Look at Mr. All-Pro Josh Allen, not Thursday night, but the week before, Josh Allen threw for 127 yards. You don't hear nobody talking about that because Josh Allen will go out and sling it around and throw, you know, he'll throw 40 touchdowns, but he'll also throw 30 interceptions. You know what I mean?
Well, right. So, but look, we're getting ready to wrap it up here. Mike, I got to ask you, it's Sunday. You know what that means. Again, guys, we're about to hand it off. We're about to hand it off to the Steel City Sundays with our man John Phillips and our man Bill. So those guys, Bill Atkins, they're going to have you covered for Steelers pregame. But Mike, I got to ask you, what are you having today?
You know what? I don't think the home foreman has kind of told me what she wanted to do for this. I mean, the Birds got an early game, so I'm going to sit and watch that game without doing anything.
A lunch.
Maybe just go grab some cold cuts or something for the Eagles. I don't eat during Eagles games because they'll give me heartburn. So I'm going to be sitting watching that. But maybe for the Phillies game when they come on later on, we'll think of something. I will put it up on our TikTok later today. And for all you guys that are watching, make sure you go over to It's a Wrap Sports on TikTok and look and see what me and Pat eat. Al don't ever chime in with that. We're going to have to really get on his ass about that.
No, he's on a diet. He don't like sticking things in his face. He's weird.
Our special guest next week is one Matty B. He said next week as they ride unicorns and interview Bigfoot. So I guess we're interviewing Matty next week. Matty, if you want to come on the show, you're more than welcome. Just grab your coffee. Just be careful. Pat may make you spit it out.
Yeah, you're going to need holy water too. But listen, for me, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do some salmon today. I'm going to do some salmon. I'm going to hook some salmon up with some fish. I'm going to try something different. Yeah, I'm having some salmon. Yeah, I mean, a little bit of fish. You know what I mean?
Oh, all right. It was just how you said it, Pat. You said, "Oh, I'm having salmon with some fish." That's you're classic. You are a time-honored treasure, pal. All right.
Yes,
so Pat's gonna. So look out for Pat's salmon and whatever the hell my wife feels like making today.
Yeah.
So we will put it up on our. We'll put it up on our TikTok. On It's a Wrap's TikTok, so make sure you guys tune in for that. Well, for one Patrick Bernard, I am Mike Lauro. No, you're not
that's
me.
Him.
Yes, that's me. So you guys have a great rest of your day. Matty B's got you covered on the Fighting's final. Steve's got you covered on the Eagles post game. The Steel City boys will be back for the Pittsburgh after the Pittsburgh game. We got a lot rolling here on It's a Wrap Sports, and we'll see you guys very soon.